Yashodanandana Vraja Janandana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yashodanandana Vraja Janandana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yashodanandana Vraja Janandana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yashodanandana Vrajanandana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Ram Sankirtan ki jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
So we are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 22, Pritha Maharaj's meeting with four Kumaras. Sloka number 52. Griheshu vartamanopi sa samrajya shriyanvitaha na sajjathendriyarteshu niraham matirar arkavat Griheshu vartamanopi sa samrajya shriyanvitaha na sajjatendriyarteshu niraham matirarkavat Griheshu vartamanopi sa samrajya shriyanvitaha na sajjatendriyarteshu niraham matirarkavat
गृहेषु वर्तमानोऽपि साम्राज्यश्रियान्वितः नासज्जतेन्द्रियार्थेषु निरहं मतिरर्कवत्
गृहेषु वर्तमानोऽपि स साम्राज्य श्रियान्वितः न सज्जतेन्द्रियार्थेषु निरहं मतिरर्कवत्
गृहेषु वर्तमानोऽपि
साम्राज्यश्रियान्वितः
न सज्जतेन्द्रियार्थेषु निरहं मतिरर्कवत्
गृहेषु वर्तमानोऽपि सा साम्राज्यश्रियान्वितः न सज्जतेन्द्रियार्थेषु निरहं मतिरर्कवत्
गृहेषु वर्तमानोऽपि
साम्राज्यश्रियान्वितः न सज्जतेन्द्रियार्थेषु निरहं मतिरर्कवत्
What word meaning? Griheshu at home Vartamanaha being present Api although Saha King Prithu Samrajya the entire empire Shriya opulence Anvitaha being absorbed in Na never Asajjata become attached become attracted Indriya arteshu for sense gratification Nihi nor Aham I am Matihi consideration Arka the sun Vat like Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: Maharaj Prithu who was very opulent due to the prosperity of his entire empire, remained at home as a householder. Since he was never inclined to utilize his opulences for the gratification of his senses, he remained unattached, exactly like the sun, which is unaffected in all circumstances. Purport. The word Griheshu is significant in this verse. Out of the 4 ashramas, the Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa, only a Grahastha or a householder is allowed to associate with women. Therefore, the Grahastha ashram is a kind of license for sense gratification given to the devotee. Prithu Maharaj was special in that, although he was given a license to remain a householder, and although he possessed immense opulences in his kingdom, he never engaged in sense gratification. This was a special sign that indicated him to be a pure devotee of the Lord. A pure devotee is never attracted by sense gratification, and consequently he is liberated. In the material life, a person engages in the sense gratification for his own personal satisfaction, but in the devotional life or liberated life, one aims to satisfy the senses of the Lord. In this verse, Maharaj Prithu is likened to the sun Arkavat. Sometimes the sun shines on stool, urine, and so many other polluted things. But since the sun is all powerful, it is never affected by polluted things with which it associates. On the contrary, the sunshine sterilizes and purifies polluted and dirty places. Similarly, a devotee may engage in so many material activities, but because he has no desire for sense gratification, they never affect him. On the contrary, he dovetails all material activities for the service of the Lord. Since a pure devotee knows how to utilize everything for the service of the Lord, he is never affected by material activities. Instead, by his transcendental plans, he purifies such activities. This is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam Tatparatvena Nirmalam. His aim is to become completely purified in the service of the Lord without being affected by material designations. Om Ajnanatamrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamukhyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Udapadakamanam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatantam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here in the sloka, the specific position of Prithu Maharaj is nicely mentioned about his opulence and his prosperity and things like that. And he remained as a householder, Griheshu Vartamanopi. And since he was never inclined to utilize the opulence for gratification of his senses, he remained unattached, exactly like the sun, which is unaffected in all circumstances. So here Prabhupada starts this purport by saying this word Griheshu, and then immediately after saying this, he is switching on to the topic of association with women. So it is the topic was Griheshu. Griheshu means to be living in the home, and why it has to be why the topic has to go to women. So it is Grihastha means a person who is duly married and staying at home. So that is what is called as Grihastha. It's not that anybody who has a Griha, place of stay, cannot become a Grihastha. He should have a life partner. That is very, very essential. So this is without getting married. In the past, either people were small child, and small children, they don't have any classification of brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas and all. So they have to be mature enough, and the moment a little bit of maturity comes, immediately they are sent to the gurukul, and brahmacharya life is going on. Then after that, if they are returning from brahmacharya life, then next this one is they should get married, and they should be in a proper ashram. And then after grihastha ashram, there is vanaprastha ashram, there is sannyasa ashram. So all the time a person used to be there in some ashram. They would not be there in hanging around somewhere, or it would be a very, very small period of time. So this proper ashram is a very important this one. And grihastha ashram means it is immediately no, there is a wife that is there, no, in the place. Otherwise, it is not called as Grahastha ashram, right? So that is why Prabhupada actually brings in this one. And also the other aspect is, out of all these personalities, of all these ashrams, no, only Grahastha ashram where people are expected to stay at home. No, other Brahmacharya ashram, like, no, they are not expected to stay at home. Like Vanaprastha is like that name itself says, like they should go out and perform austerities, travel to different holy places and things like that and all. So they may briefly come to the home and things like that. So, but then that is they should practice detachment from home, and then sannyas, though, like it is not possible to stay at home. In fact, Prabhupada was nicely mentioning the on the Gaspuja day, like we were hearing, that he was so much terrified when his spiritual master told that you should take sannyas. Then one of his god brothers, he was telling that, maybe you can take, what is that sannyas? Huh? Kutichak sannyas, yeah. So Kutichak sannyas means like you can stay a little close to your home, in the same city, but not in the home exactly. And then Bahudak means like, Kutichak means like to get supplies still from the home, but then not staying in home. And then Bahudak means like going to many different houses and begging for alms. And then after that, a person can become Parivrajkacharya, where he is not thinking about the maintenance, and he is just going to different places and preaching. Then final is Paramahamsa. So in any of these cases, like there is no concept of staying back at home, right? So that is not there. So in this way, like he was, like in this way, the Graheshu means to stay at home, and Griha also means like to have a life partner. So without that, a person doesn't become qualified to become a Grihastha, right? So, and then here it's mentioned Prithu Maharaj was special in that, although he was given license to remain a householder, and although he possessed immense opulence in his kingdom, he never engaged in sense gratification. So this is an amazing aspect of the pure devotees of the Lord. So they have immense opulences and they never engaged in sense gratification. So we can see in the life of Srila Prabhupada. So when he was there, distributing back to God at magazines in the street of Delhi, or he was the Acharya of a great institute where so many branches are there, so many disciples are there, and many interviews, like Prabhupada has shared this also. I came with 40 rupees and I have so many millions now, right? So he had a lot of this one, but then he never sat down and then enjoyed sense gratification. Rather, he would challenge people. Whenever this kind of questions come, like, no, why don't you people work? And Prabhupada used to say, like, no, what work you are talking about? We are working more than you. And then he would describe his schedule, and it is very, very unimaginable, kind of schedule it is. And basically, like, there is no sense gratification. In fact, the funny court case that was there, like one time, a person, I think he was a murderer or something, and he just to escape from the police, he got into like Sankirtan party, and he was taken to temple and he was shaven, and bead bag was given, and from next day onwards, like the whole morning program, everything started. So after some time, he confessed to the devotees that like I'm actually not a very good person. So then they told, like, you go and surrender to the police, and they took him to the court. And then the judge asked, like, no, what all things you are doing all these days? So he described all the all the temple program, and the judge told, no, इससे ज़्यादा punishment दे नहीं सकते. So you have already undergone sufficient atonement. You can be released. So in that way, like you can see that. So definitely, like a devotee of the Lord, is not engaged in sense gratification. And sense gratification means like a lot of, and that too, a personality like Prithu Maharaj, who's having the entire globe in his control, and he has, and like king is supposed to be the enjoyer, right? So king, if king has some enjoyment, so everybody will facilitate that enjoyment. So it will not be a problem at all. But still, no, where it is legal for him to have sense gratification, but still like no, he didn't engage in sense gratification. So that is something here Prabhupada is noting that it is very very special of Prithu Maharaj. And then this was sign. This was a special sign that indicated him to be a pure devotee of the Lord. A pure devotee is never attracted by the sense gratification, and consequently he is liberated. So because of his attraction towards the Supreme Lord, so naturally like for him the like sense gratificatory things appears to be distasteful. We have Yamunacharya, right? So mentioning about that aspect of, can you remember the sloka? So there he is mentioning that I have been like tasting the nectar of Krishna consciousness, and now if I think of the sex life, my lips actually curl in distaste. I spit at the thought. That's what he actually mentions. So in that way, the sense gratification becomes pale, and sense gratification becomes distasteful for a person. What is that? The other one, Prabodhananda Saraswati is this one. No. Kaivalyam Narakayate, Tridashapur Akasha Pushpayate. So, Durdantendriya Kala Sarpapatale, Protkata Damstrayate, Vishwam Purna Sukayate, Vidhi Mahendra Vishya Kitayate, Ek Karunya Vaibhavavatam, Ek Karunya Kataksha Vaibhavavatam, Tam Gauram Evastumanas, like that. So this whole this one actually describes about one who has got the Karunya Kataksha, one who has got the glances of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu upon him. For him, like the Kaivalyam Narakayate. So this is one of the highest pleasure that people actually look for. So the material pleasure, the sense pleasure, then after that there is pleasure of name and fame and things like that, and then after that there is pleasure of Indra, like have more control over the entire this one, and then and then there is like more pleasure of being Lord Brahma, and then there is more pleasure of being like liberated from even the position of Lord Brahma. So that is the like being in the state of Kaivalya, being in the state of liberated state, where he is not finding any taste even in the Brahma Sukha, like even in not Brahma Sukha, like Brahma's planets Sukha, Satyaloka Sukha. So even in that state he is not finding any happiness. So, and that kind of liberation is Narakayate, for a devotee, So Kaivalyam Narakayate. And Tridashapur Akasha Pushpayate, then what to speak of all the other Tridashapur, that is the territory that is ruled by the Indra. That is also like not very, that's not even existent. That's like phantasmagoria, like, that's just an illusory thing, right? And then for them, the senses are completely plugged out. Senses are like the serpents, whose teeth are already taken out, and they don't have much effect. So the sense gratification, the senses are in itself is not a problem. The desire for sense gratification is the problem. That's why Rupa Goswami very nicely notes this thing. Bhukti mukti spriha yavat pishachi hridi vartate tavat bhakti sukasyartha katam abhyudayo bhavet. So he mentions that the desire for liberation and desire for sense gratification is the problem. Engaging the senses in some activities is not a problem. Being in the liberated state is not a problem. Desire to be liberated is a problem. Desire to be engaging in this sense gratification is a problem. So this is what Rupa Goswami actually notes, saying that the desire, I want to come out of this problem. That is a problem actually. So if I'm thinking I want to come out of this problem, where is Krishna in the picture? Where I will think about Krishna. If I'm desiring to enjoy something in the material world, where is Krishna in the picture? If I'm thinking about Krishna and I have been asked to do some service, in using my senses in some activities, so that's perfectly okay. I'm in Krishna consciousness and I'm trying to do, it's okay. And I'm thinking of Krishna and Krishna is taking me to the liberated state, that is also okay. No, but then thinking of, no, how will I go there and things like that. So, and I forget Krishna, then it's a problem. No, so that's why Rupa Goswami is telling that no, Krishna consciousness is more important. No, and anything that is like no. Taking Krishna out of the consciousness should be given up. No, so that is what is the whole this one. So the desire to enjoy or desire to get liberation is actually a problem. And the jnanis generally they desire for liberation, and the karmis they generally like they desire for sense gratification. Right? So these two things, no karma jnana is constantly being refuted. No, in everywhere, wherever you see pure devotional service ka definition, immediately the thing that follows is free from karma and jnana. And then here Rupa Goswami is mentioning that he is not touching the karma and jnana, he is touching the fruits of karma and jnana. So like what is the fruits of karma and jnana? Like desire for sense gratification and desire for liberation. So these two things are not there. So a devotee is desiring to attain Krishna and not desiring to attain liberation, or not desiring to attain sense gratification to do it is gone. So like desire to attain liberation is also not there. So that is why he's telling that wherever you put me, my Lord, I just simply want your devotional service. So I just simply want to be engaged in your devotional service all the time. That's something that a devotee actually always asks from the Lord. So that way we can see that this Prithu Maharaj, it's no wonder being Saktavesh avatar of the Lord and a very very qualified devotee of the Lord. In this context, he is seen as a devotee of the Lord. He's a completely liberated soul, and he doesn't have any attraction towards sense gratification. Right. So and that is how here he is qualified as liberated. So here is mentioned, this was a special sign that indicates him to be a pure devotee of the Lord. Right. So what is that special sign? So that is like, even though he has license to enjoy, he is not doing sense gratification. And then it is mentioned, a pure devotee is never attracted by sense gratification, and consequently he is liberated. Liberated means, what is that liberation from? Liberation is a negative sense. Actually, it's a negative word. So which says that getting out of something. I'm struggling somewhere. I have to get out of something. So that's liberation. And here, why a pure devotee is called as a liberated soul? Because he is not what is it? He has gone beyond sense gratification. So he can be termed as liberated. So liberation means not that I have some job problem, I have some health problem, and I have to come out of that. That is not liberation. Liberation means what? Being freed from the dictation of the senses. Then a person is called liberated, and a pure devotee is naturally liberated because his consciousness is always revolving around Krishna. So he is not attracted by sense gratification. So, in the material life, a person engages in sense gratification for his own personal satisfaction, but in the devotional or liberated life, one aims to satisfy the senses of the Lord. So, this is Atmendriya Priti Vancha, Thare Bhale Kam, Krishnendriya Priti Vancha, Dhare Premanam. Okay, Dhare Premanam. So this is when one has the desire to satisfy his own personal senses, then it is called kama, and when he has desire to satisfy the senses of the Lord, then it is called prema. So the material punya and papa both falls under the category of kama. Sometimes people take advantage of their being incapable of doing some sense gratification. They say that I'm not doing anything, I'm not enjoying like this person, things like that. So that is also karma only. He's enjoying and this person is unable to enjoy, and he is having desire to enjoy, and he is expressing, I am not able to enjoy. I am not enjoying in that way. Till the time these two are two sides of the same coin of lust. Somebody is enjoying and somebody is unable to enjoy and desiring and having desire to enjoy. So both are the same this ones actually. So in one sense, if we see both of them are not having the desire to satisfy the senses of the Lord. So that is why it is very clear, devotional service or no, prema means like no, to satisfy the senses of the Lord. So that is the devotional service. And in this verse, Maharaj Prithu is likened to the sun, Arkavat. Now, sometimes the sun shines on stool, urine, and so many other polluted things, but since sun is all powerful, it is never affected by the polluted things with which it associates. So, like we can see, like Srila Prabhupada also, he went from he went to the such a polluted place, of the Western world, and in fact he notes down saying in his bhajan that this is such a polluted place. No, only thing that I can see is like all material modes of passion and ignorance, and it is like a very 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 polluted place. And he even asked the Lord, "No, why have you brought me to this horrible place?" Right? So that is how polluted the place was. And then at that point in time, and specifically like at that point in time, people, that hippies were there. And one time, like in the beginning days, one reporter or somebody, like he kind of got to know that some Swamiji has come from India, and he wanted to go and take interview. And he went to Prabhupada's place. He found in the Bauri and in a very not a very good condition. So like that house was there. So it is like AIR house, artist in residence. So something like that. So, and when the reporter came inside, he saw like one person is like maybe sitting against the wall or standing against the wall, like staring at the wall like this, and another person is doing something else, and and then he goes past all these things, and then he goes inside room, and there Prabhupada is there. Inside room, it's like a partition, some kind of partition that is put, and there Prabhupada is there, and he's while interviewing, he's asking, what your disciples are doing out there? And Prabhupada is telling, I am also wondering, I don't know what they're doing. So it is like all kind of crazy people used to be there. And sometimes people would have completely drunk, and they would be like lying down in the streets, and sometimes half naked and things like that. And it's sometimes like it is not even known whether he is living or dead. Till next day he doesn't get up, then corporation van will come and it'll take him. That is the condition of this one. And Prabhupada has to walk through that area and things like that. And in fact, like recently when we were reading some things, so we were seeing that at that those places, not every apartment or room, whatever it is, not every apartment will have a bathroom. Only few apartments will have bathroom, and people would not take bath also. If somebody wants to take bath, like they will go to some of their friends' room, like where there is bathroom is there, once in a month or something, So they want to, probably, be there and appear in a saner section of environment or something like that. So then they would take bath. So such is the kind of contaminated area. And in fact, one of the classes in the Bhakti Shastri, we are hearing that Prabhupada went to a preaching program in the jungle, and there everybody were sitting naked. And that's their culture over there. And Prabhupada was giving class, and he was telling that you have given up the dress thinking that it is not useful, and spiritual consciousness means to give up even this body and to be situated on the spiritual plane. You have advanced a little bit, still more you have to advance. So you have already given up your this one, so you have to give up your bodily consciousness also. And it is like we cannot even imagine if we go to such place, then that's all clean gold. Probably we will join the party. So like maybe your party seems to be more better than what I'm trying to preach. So in that way, like Prabhupada went to such horrible places, but he was not affected. His consciousness was not affected at any point in time. He was all the time, he was completely fixed in Krishna consciousness, and then he was rather purifying those people. In fact, amongst that nude gang, like one person became a devotee, it seems. Like so, like somebody became devotee from there. So it is like that is the effect of a pure devotee. He can go any place, and then he can actually purify the whole existence. Otherwise it is like normally it is not possible. And in one lecture I was hearing, Prabhupada, after a huge Pandal program, he was coming down the stage and he was walking back, and so many people were coming with garlands and offering respect and things like that. And Prabhupada turned to his disciples and he asked, why do you think all these people are giving me respect? And everybody was stunned, like, Prabhupada, you're Prabhupada, So, but then Prabhupada told, see, I have given up sex desire. That is why the whole world is respecting me. Everybody is like respecting me. So that's like very powerful statement. So somebody who has given up the desire for sense gratification, they will not be affected by the world, but rather they will actually purify the world. That's the state of existence. Here we see that Maharaj Prithu also was like this. So sun, it touches even the filthy areas, but then the sun purifies all the filthy areas. So the sun never gets contaminated. The sun only purifies and sterilizes the whole this one. So in that way, like a pure devotee of the Lord, he in the initial stages, it is very important to take care of all the necessary things and things like that and all. So when I was just beginning my Krishna consciousness, maybe few months, I used to go from my PG to the Saturday, Sunday, I used to be there in the temple. And one time I asked my counselor that one of my friend is interested, but he cannot come for 2 days. I used to go for both Saturdays, Sundays. I used to be there in the temple. So he will come only on Sunday. So can I stay back and this Saturday I will not come. No, I will come on Sunday only. I will bring him. He told forget about all those things. You come on Saturday. Let him not become a devotee. No, it is more important that you come. So it is very important. So in that way, he was in the beginning days, it is very, very important to be conscious of what all things can contaminate us. That is very important. And then later on, when a person becomes purified, so then he can be there 50% purified state, and 50% he can go out and he can do preaching and things like that. But then if he is there like Prithu Maharaj, he can just go full out. Anywhere he goes and touches kabaddi, everybody's out. So he can just touch and make them devotees, right? So that's the power of such great personalities. Prabhupada was such a powerful personality. For him, any contaminated environment, it doesn't matter. Wherever he goes, people get out. That's all. So there is no question of he getting out. Wherever he goes and touches, people will get out. So like that. Here we see that Prithu Maharaj is in such a wonderful kind of a position wherein he is not affected by any of the polluted atmosphere of this of the world, or any of the polluted atmosphere of the material things. And then he is rather purifying everything. And here Prabhupada is talking about being engaged in material activities, and a pure devotee dovetails all material activities in the service of the Lord. So it is we should take this as seemingly material activities, actually speaking, pure devotee doesn't do anything material activities. Everything that he does is pure devotional service only. But then, in the eyes of the materialistic people, sometimes people ask, you people are sadhus, why are you having so much money? Why are you building big buildings? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? They think that this is material activities. Sadhus, engaged in material activity. But sadhus never engage in material activity. Everything that they do is spiritual activity only, right? So, it is he dovetails all the activities, which are seemingly material in nature, but then, it is all pure devotional service. So initially I had this doubt that Yukta Vairagya means somewhat like a Vairagya in some lower status or something like that. Because he cannot give it up, so just engage in Krishna service, like that. But later on, devotee clarified to me, this is the highest form of Vairagya. This is not some lower form of Vairagya. So Yukta Vairagya means to understand that everything that exists belongs to the Lord and use it properly in the service of the Lord. That is it's a highest form of Vairagya. And just to give it up, it's just yesterday I was hearing in Prabhupada's class, he was mentioning that if somebody has lost some money in the street, No, one person is thinking, oh, this, no, I can enjoy. No, he is taking. And no, he's like the no bogey, no, and the next person he says, oh, this is not my money. No, he just walks off. No, he's tyagi. No, this is not my this one. And the third person comes, he says, no, he takes the money and he asks like, no, whose it is? No, have anybody forgotten? So then the person, no, who's real owner, he comes and takes it. So in that way, like Prabhupada is mentioning that the bogies, no, they are thinking to enjoy the property of Lord. And the Tyagis, they are telling, hey, this is not my property, I will not enjoy. No? And then devotee, he's saying like, oh, this is property of Lord, I should use it in Lord's service. Right? So that is the Yukta Vairagya aspect, no, of this one. A pure devotee sees that everything that exists in the world, no, is property of the Lord, and it should be used in His service. And in fact, now one time in one lecture he was telling it's all ukra karma and it's all like no very bad and things like that, and also all the material advancements. So then we should give it up. No, then Prabhupada, no, like by some mistake they did it. No, now use it in Krishna's service. No, so whatever you have done, no, it is Krishna's property. No, use it in Krishna's service. So that was like amazing. No, it is Ugra Karma that you have done. No, but now, no, why to throw it? No, use it in Krishna's service. So that's like very nice vision of pure devotee, wherein like he sees that everything that exists should be used in service of the Lord. No, but then no, Prabhupada says that in the same Yukta Vairagya, this one. So we don't say that no, all these material things, no, you give it up. No, these material things are like zero, and you just add Krishna in the front. No, all these zeros, no, will have the tens of time multitude effect. No, so that is the this one. But then we ask you to give up something. What is that? No, that things which are not favorable for Krishna, you should give it up. Like meat eating and stuff like that. No, Prabhupada was mentioning those things. So in that way, like most of the things, no, if it is not against Krishna consciousness, no, it can be used in service of Krishna. No, otherwise, no, only those things which are which are prohibited or which are not conducive for Krishna consciousness, they have to be given up, and rest everything can be utilized, in the service of the Lord. And especially for devotees who are engaged in job, like where they go out and be engaged in job, so they should see the result of the activities should be used in service of the Lord. In that way, like that can be docile. And instead, by okay, so here, since a pure devotee knows how to utilize everything in Lord's service, he is never affected by material activities. Instead, by his transcendental plans, he purifies such activities. That is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam Tatparatvena Nirmalam. So his aim is to become completely purified in the service of the Lord without being affected by the material designations. Right? So having material designations and then being in the material world is a problem. But having a spiritual designation and being in the material world is not a problem. Like Hanuman had a spiritual designation as servant of Lord Ram, and he had the mission of finding Sita, and he was there in Ravana's kingdom. So it's not a problem. So demons were also there in Ravana's kingdom, and Hanuman also was there in Ravana's kingdom. So but Hanuman, he was having, his designation is servant of Lord Ram, and his job description or his service in hand is to find Sita, for the pleasure of Lord Ram. So in that way, like he was completely fine, being in the kingdom of this one, kingdom of Ravana. So in that way, like a pure devotee, like wherever he is in, his only this one is his designation is servant of the Lord, and he is always engaged in the service of the Lord. So, and he's not affected, even though he may be there in difficult situations. So I stop here. Any questions or comments you can take? Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.